Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, Chancellor Kent Syverud speaks publicly for the first time since the Not Again SU occupation began 2 days ago.
Plus, the professor reflects on the history of social justice protests on the Syracuse University campus.
And the first team to announce their candidacy for Student Association President and Vice President sat down with us to discuss their platforms. Citrus TV News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Students are nearing the 54th hour of occupation at Crouse-Hines Hall. Good evening, I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo.
And I'm Carmella Boykin. Negotiations between both parties have continued throughout the day. Citrus TV is bringing you team coverage tonight from across campus. Walker Simmons has more on the weather conditions protesters are facing outside tonight, and Oscar Offerman is outside Crouse-Hines Hall with the latest on negotiations between the suspended students and the SU administration.
But first, we take you to Maxwell Hall, where Ricky Sayer has been sitting in on today's University Senate meeting. Ricky, what did we learn from today's meeting?
Hi guys, so I'm right here outside of the meeting, which is still taking place right now. Right now, senators are voting on a resolution, and that resolution would say that SU needs to stop retaliating now and in the future against the protesters. They want to have 2 faculty present whenever they are having
Apologize for those technical difficulties. We will have continuing coverage at Citrus TV News' Twitter of that University Senate meeting.
Syverud.
In fact, been found and punished, including the suspensions, including this semester. But people don't know that because our student conduct process has been kept so confidential. Enough. I am not going to let students be arrested and forced out of Crouse-Hines Hall. The building is now closed. The students now there can stay there. I have directed arrangements for ensuring they are fed and cared for. I am also directing that interim suspension be lifted and the suspension procedure be stopped while we all step back. I have concluded that we cannot move forward productively unless we start with compassion for our students and with de-escalation. If we don't do this, all the real progress on these issues that this university has made since November and that has to continue is going to be in jeopardy. Our students at Syracuse have the right of free speech and protest. That right doesn't mean that students can, without consequence, protest anywhere at any time.
That was Chancellor Syverud at the University Senate meeting. Now, protesters at Crouse-Hines Hall are now in their 53rd hour. Students began occupying the hall around 12:30 on Monday. The building closed at 9 p.m. after the administration asked students to leave. Students who stayed after the building closed were given interim suspensions.
Tuesday's classes were moved out of Crouse-Hines, and access to the building was restricted to people with card access. Yesterday morning, the #NotAgainSU movement issued a new list of 18 demands. After being in the building for over 24 hours, some food was delivered to protesters. Throughout the day, crowds outside continued to grow. Then after 10 p.m., informal resolution letters were given to protesters, saying in part that suspensions would be lifted if they agreed to leave. The protesters did not sign and spent yet another night inside. Now this morning we learned that 426 teaching and research assistants are on strike. A Google call to action document says they will withhold their labor until all suspensions are lifted and students in the hall have unrestricted and unconditional access to supplies. The building remained closed throughout the day, but lawyers for the students were able to go inside. Now our Oscar Offerman is now live outside Crouse-Hines Hall, where some of those negotiations between administrators and protesters have been moving forward.
Now about 45 to 50 protesters remained here outside Crouse-Hines Hall as #NotAgainSU protesters occupied the building for the third straight day. Now, SU officials brought food into Crouse-Heinz Hall around 3:30 today. Those food donations were gathered down the street at 111 Waverly and then brought over in large bins. There were hot meals distributed, pizza, waters, and soda. So really a marked shift from the first 24 hours of this occupation. Now, so far, the biggest commotion of the day was when Chancellor Syverud announced at the University Senate meeting that suspensions issued for those inside the building, interim suspensions rather, would be lifted. That shifted the mood around here quite a bit, and now the mood is rather positive despite the cold. So quickly to recap, food has been coming in throughout the day, and the mood here remains much more positive than the first 24 hours. Reporting live outside Crouse-Heinz Hall, Oscar Offerman, CitrusTV News.
Okay, so
Keep talking. That's really all I got outside here. The mood is very, very positive. Now back to you guys in studio. It's really, despite the cold, protesters have really remained outside here all day long, and they really show no signs of letting up. Reporting live outside Crouse-Heinz Hall, Oscar Offerman, CitrusTV News.
we apologize for the technical difficulties. We will get back to you as soon as possible, delivering you the latest.
All right, but let's let you know, as you can hear us, some of those protesters are delivering supplies, and they signed a petition started by Eileen Schell, a writing professor, yesterday to condemn the suspensions. Since then, over 450 people have signed that petition, and Schell delivered it to the University Senate today.
And many faculty members have
anything like this. So I just want to say, I'm on the floor of the Senate today to deliver a petition to be entered into the Senate record of 487 faculty, staff, alumni, and students opposing the university's delivery of anti-disruption policy notices and suspending Not Again SU protesters. Since the Chancellor has lifted the suspensions, I'd like to offer that this petition is an indication of our desire never to have this happen again. We did not have to get here with this escalation. It did not have to happen this way. I'm happy that we're stopping that, but how we got here is what we really need to look at in addition to moving forward. You cannot undo all the damage that's happened, all the people that were hurt, all the promises that were broken, all the pushes and shoves and needing food and needing supplies. The university can't use press releases to manage this away. There's a lot that has been lost here. A lot of trust has been stolen, and it will take a long time to replace it. So I'm entering into the record 487 signatures from faculty, staff, alumni, and students as a promise that we will not do this again as a university.
And many faculty members have shown their solidarity with Not Again SU protesters. CitrusTV reporter Isha Patu sat down with one Syracuse professor earlier today. Professor Goenka tells us why she chooses to support the movement and how she's seen the university change over the past few decades.
I'm actually shocked. I'm shocked at how inhumane the treatment of the current students are at Crouse-Heinz. I cannot believe that this is the university that I have given my life to.
Professor Tula Goenka is one of many faculty members who have signed an online Google Doc petition calling for the reinstatement of the suspended protesters.
These decisions that are really made by administrators and not by professors. We are not involved in it.
Goenka remembers previous student movements from her nearly 25 years of teaching. She notes one key difference. In prior years, faculty could join the sit-ins.
Many different faculty members took their classes, taught their classes there, and it also happened at the Barnes Center. But we cannot do that this time around.
One of Not Again SU's demands is the resignation of Chancellor Kent Severud. Last semester, a petition calling for his removal reached nearly 2,000 signatures. Guenca describes how she has personally witnessed the university change under his leadership.
It has become much more corporate, and it has become much more undiverse in leadership and in its policies, even though they keep saying they are committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. I do not see that in practice.
For Professor Guenca, this is not the same university she began teaching at all those years ago.
I've been teaching here for nearly 25 years, and this is not the kind of institution Syracuse University is. What does Be Orange mean?
Isha Batu, Citrus TV News.
Thank you, Isha. Now, it was a snowy day to start, and we saw there were protesters outside Crouse-Hinds Hall standing out there in the snow. Now, it snowed for the remainder of the afternoon. Slow down. I'm hoping that the snow stops pretty soon.
Hopefully, yeah. Here in Syracuse, over the past week, we've really been back and forth. It's been raining and then it froze. It's looked like we're in a winter weather storm advisory or something. We're not quite sure yet, but our weather anchor, Walker Simmons, will tell us what we can expect.
He is going to be in studio in just a second.
Minute.
But you know, outside, right by where the protesters were, it was quite muddy because of those changing weather conditions. Walker, we have Walker now. So Walker, what are we going to expect?
Thanks, guys. Now, just taking a look at today, honestly, through the rest of this afternoon, snow has actually let up just a little bit. However, as we get into tonight and into tomorrow, it's going to actually start to get a little bit more snowy. That's when we're going to start to see the snow. We have a snowstorm actually coming through. So that's going to be the biggest. We're looking at about 26 degrees on this afternoon. However, as we get into tomorrow, that's when we're going to see the remainder and the heaviest part of the snowstorm. So conditions outside for a lot of these protesters, it's going to be a lot snowier. We're going to get a lot heavier snow. It's going to be one of Syracuse's heaviest and quickest snowstorms that we've seen throughout this entire semester, actually. And in total, we're going to see about 6 to 10 inches of snow. And so that's going to be roughly, we'll see the most of this snow come in tonight, and then it'll kind of clear out into tomorrow. And that's mainly just because of this lake effect, and that's going to have the biggest impact. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Walker.
Coming up on News Live at 6, the first students to declare their candidacy for Student Association President and Vice President tell us why they're running.
And Mayor Ben Walsh will speak on campus tomorrow, what he plans to discuss after the break.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Your girls have been with you through every moment of your life. They were with you when you felt unbreakable. With you that time you felt most alone. And with you when you realized you would never be. They were with you when you shared your love with the world. And with you when she became your world. Your girls have never left you. They're still with you right now. But how well do you know them? You don't know knowing your breasts can save your life.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom 315-443-1177 or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
2 students on campus have announced their candidacy to lead student association. Justine Hastings and Ryan Golden are planning to run for student body president and vice president.
I sat down with Hastings and Golden to discuss how they plan to impact campus.
And the whole Not Again SU movement, we're both supporters of. We decided that we needed to work together to reform the campus.
Now, Ryan, I know you ran for president last year in the election and lost. Why run for VP now?
I ran for VP this time because I thought that it would be best to support someone who I felt like had the best intentions with the campus and could best represent the campus. I think that for a moment I considered running a second time for president, but I kind of decided that on my own that a white guy wasn't really necessary right now. So having someone who is of color, a woman, it would be better for the campus right now than me as president.
How do you feel about what's currently going on campus and how the administration is handling it?
Oh, well, we 100% support the Not Again SU movement, and we denounce the suspensions. The situation is just completely absurd to me. Students were in there starving yesterday when I came yesterday, and food wasn't being allowed into students.
Have you guys been at protests outside Crouse-Hinds? Were you at the Barnes Center?
Yes, I was at the Barnes Center last year. This semester, we actually knew about the Crouse-Hinds protest before it was public because the Not Again SU leaders didn't want the administration to shut down Crouse-Hinds in advance. So we actually helped with bringing their supplies to Crouse-Hinds, and I sat in the first day.
Are you in support of all of the new list of demands?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
And are you willing to have the conversation with administration if you're put in that position?
I'm more than willing to have the conversation with administration. Well, I do want to say that what exactly we're running on, and as you'll see that a lot of the departments intersect with one another, but it's the best way that we can distinguish them. We're running on support for marginalized communities, campus accessibility, financial access, and as we've discussed, student association accountability.
Hastings and Golden will officially announce their candidacy tomorrow night at the Pride Union's drag show. To see our full interview with the candidates, visit CitrusTV.com. Now, we have some breaking news. The resolution to revoke suspensions for Not Again SU protesters has officially passed the University Senate, so none of the 30 protesters will face suspension. As part of the resolution, 2 faculty members must be present at all negotiations.
The resolution also says Crouse-Hinds Hall must be open from 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day. This means protesters will have access to supplies and food throughout the day. This also comes from the chancellor himself. Syracuse Mayor Ben Walsh is expected to speak on campus tomorrow as part of the Thursday morning roundtable series. His talk is scheduled to be about his work as mayor in the last 2 years and his plans for the city going forward. The talk runs from 8 to 9 a.m. at the Nancy Cantor Warehouse near Armory Square. Free transportation to the warehouse is available through the Connective Corridor bus route.
Coming up after the break, a snowstorm is coming through Syracuse tonight. Stay tuned for Walker's full weather forecast.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh. Oh.
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you. your favorite brother, your other brother.
Yes.
You, your football buddy, your football buddy. You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
All right, now the big talk for tonight and into tomorrow is this quick snowstorm that we're having come through because of this lake effect. So tonight around 8 is when we're going to see this start with temperatures at about 24 degrees. So this is where it's going to be probably the most harsh from tonight around 8 o'clock all the way into early tomorrow morning. Now taking a look at the radar here, as you can see, this is a classic example of lake effect. We have it coming right across here, and that was what we saw this morning. And then as it rolls in, this is the cloud that's going to be coming in tonight and laying the snow over Syracuse. So this is definitely the biggest cloud coming through. Now looking at the rest of Thursday, temperatures are actually going to get cold and they're going to feel much colder. They're going to feel about 10 degrees. So we have about 10 degrees cooler because of this heavy amount of winds that we're seeing. We're seeing about 10 to 15 mile per hour winds coming through. So it's going to make it feel much colder like I mentioned. And throughout the day it starts off at 19 degrees and by noon we get a level out at about 21, but then it dips right back down. And this is actually because the polar vortex is letting up just a little bit and letting a lot of colder Arctic snow run through, and that's what's going to result in these colder temperatures. And you'll feel this through Thursday and into Friday and even into this weekend. Now just taking a look at temperatures across the board, like I said, they're getting cold, but they are staying somewhat even. As you can see, Syracuse, we're at about 26 degrees, and this is where things level out. But overall, that's how it looks weather-wise. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Walker. I don't know about you, but the last time I heard this much talk about quadrants, I was sitting in high school calculus. Well, tonight, Syracuse men's basketball has one last chance to add a Quadrant 1 win to its resume down in Louisville. We'll get you set for this crucial ACC matchup when we come back.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Welcome back, I'm Sam Rothman. While the term must-win game gets thrown around a lot, it's the reality for SU men's basketball tonight against 11th ranked Louisville. That's because Jim Boeheim's squad is in desperate need of a signature win after recent struggles down the stretch. Syracuse held late leads against both Clemson and NC State, and most recently was just 2 minutes away from upsetting Florida State. However, in all three, the lead eventually turned into a loss. While a win tonight wouldn't quite unlock the door to the big dance, it definitely would help keep the Orange's tournament hopes alive. So with that being said, let's bring in our reporter Nick Kuzma down in Kentucky. Nick, a reoccurring issue for SU has been blowing late leads. So what does Syracuse need to do tonight to finish strong?
Let's be honest, Sam, there's 3 knowns in this life: death, taxes, and Syracuse big men fouling out in the second half. So the key is simply the Orange have to be able to stick around the game by having their best players on the floor until the end. If they do that, they might just have a shot.
Tonight's a battle between the top 2 scorers in the ACC, with SU's Elijah Hughes and Louisville's Jordan Nwora. Both teams, though, have dropped back-to-back games, coming to this one hungry for a win. Nick, which squad snaps the streak tonight?
Well, Sam, you know, 2 teams coming in, you're right, they're struggling. For Louisville, this could be 3 in a row. The old adage is bad things come in threes. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think Syracuse is struggling this one. We heard Jordan Nwora was out there practicing his shot all game. He looks to be locked in. I think the Orange are going to struggle in this one, falling to Louisville and potentially ending their chance at large bid in the NCAA tournament.
Thanks so much, Nick. Enjoy the game. And for all of us who aren't there, make sure to follow along Nick all night on Twitter at CitrusTV Sports for updates throughout.
All right, thank you, Sam. Citrus TV News will be right back.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average 4-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
We're now joined by our weather anchor, Walker Simmons. And Walker, when we wake up tomorrow, it's cold today. What can we expect tomorrow morning?
Well, it's definitely going to be a cold one tomorrow morning, and it's going to be a snowy one. We're going to have snow run through. That'll make the roads definitely a lot more difficult to drive through, and it'll also make vision kind of bad, so definitely plan ahead on your daily commute.
When we look ahead to this weekend, is it going to get any better for people who maybe are traveling this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend actually looks fairly nice. Taking a look at Saturday and Sunday, we actually see things start to peak up into those 40s. And Sunday, you get clear skies, so you're getting some higher suns as well as 40s. So it'll be nice on the weekend.
Fantastic. That sounds amazing. And, okay, it's kind of a personal question, but would you say we can wear shorts on Sunday?
You know, that's up to you.
39 degrees?
39.
But
at the
high of
same time,
46.
we're seeing temperatures fairly cold right now, so it's going to feel really nice on Sunday. So I guarantee you'll see people in shorts on campus.
Fantastic. Thank you, Walker. And that's all the time we have for you tonight on Citrus TV News live at 6. Stick with Citrus TV News Online for continued coverage throughout the protests.
Follow us on all our social media at Citrus TV News, or visit our website, citrustv.com, for the latest on the Not Again SU movement and all your local news. For all of us here at Citrus TV, I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo.
And I'm Carmella Boykin. Have a great evening, Syracuse.